All right, another way to use particle flow to add even more details to a scene is to use it to create smoke, dust, or things like that. So very, very fine details that will be affected by the wind. So here we have a wind force. We're going to use that a bit later. So we're going to start back from where we were at the beginning, at the end of the previous example. We've got those rock debris there that are being emitted, and I'd like those to have a smoke trail, a dust trail as they travel here. So I'm going to go to particle view. Right now we have our event from the last example, and those debris are defined over here, or the smaller debris are defined over here. So I can use the operator called the spawn operator, and I'm just going to connect it on the other side here. Right now it's set to spawn only once, but I'm going to change that, and I'm going to say by travel distance. So as it's traveling through space here, it's going to emit new particles. So now I've done that at frame 39. It's going to generate all of those particles. I'll go back to 0, and we're going to start playing this here, and you see that it's spawning those particles. Of course, we don't want to create new rocks. We want to create something different, so that's why we're going to branch it out here. So I'm going to create a display operator. I'm going to connect it to that, and we're just going to display as dots so that we can see the effect of what we're going to do here. So as those particles are being emitted, you see that they're kind of going towards they're kind of keeping their same speed movement, and it doesn't give us the effect of a trail. That's because in the spawn operator here, they're set to keep the same exact speed. So I'm going to turn off or put the inheritance here to 0, and what you're going to see here is that those smaller debris will start to emit those particles. I don't want to create a perfect line like this, so we're going to just inherit just a little bit more of their speed, something like that. We're going to add some variations in there and also a bit of divergence, so the trail is not perfect. So we're going to get some that effect there. So as it goes like that, and now we got a nice trail there. You can spawn multiple times if you want to. Right now we only have one spring. I can make it 2 or 3. So every step is going to emit more particles. So we can have a nice smoky effect there. So now we have the trail, but the thing is that it's not affected by the wind. So if we want to have the dust kind of effect, this dust would be affected by the wind. So I'm going to add in a force operator, drag it in there, and now I'm going to pick the force. I'm going to add this force here, which is the wind. Very strong, 1,000. So let's start with 20%. And I'm just going to move that aside here. So just to play until we get the effect of filling the frame, something like maybe 84% will be good. And now we got these particles, and they are being emitted, and they are being affected by the wind. If you want to create a smoke kind of look, I'm just going to show you this here. I'm going to go back to particle view. You can use a something like a sphere. So if I go here and I use the shape operator, something like that. That shape here, I'm going to make it a 20-sided sphere, and we're going to move that aside here. So you'll see that we're going to emit spheres, and the display will going to show the geometry. So the spheres are kind of that size. I want to have some variation, of course. So I'm going to scale them to 100%, maybe a bit smaller, and add some variation there. So smaller there. So we got some variation in the size of the particle. So now we got those spheres being emitted, and each of those spheres can be replaced by a material. So if I just bring in a material static, here we go, I can define the material for these. So I'm just going to bring it up there to update the anyway, so I'm going to, as it updates, I'm just going to open up the material editor. You see that here we've got a material, and the way that I've created the material is very simple. In the opacity map here, I created a channel, and the opacity is based on the fall off, and the fall off is based from the viewing direction perpendicular parallel. So everything that faces away from the camera is kind of faded out. So we have the very the opacity is strong in the center, and it fades out on the side. And inside here, I've put a noise modifier, a noise map, sorry, and the noise gives us this randomness pattern there. So, oops, that's weird. Oh, yeah, here we go. We got the update here. So what we have now is material static. I'm just going to drag it in here, drag in there, make it as an instance, and for some reason, maybe it's because I'm recording, I'm just going to put it there. Oh, here we go. So we got the material static, and now this material will give us the effect of a smoky kind of mist with all of these spheres there.